The X-Men are not objectively some metaphor for the rainbow flag LGHDTV PDF movement. Stop trying to use this brand to justify your life decisions. Keyword there, decisions. The X-Men were meant to be a metaphor for race. Mutants are people born with unique abilities or appearances that cause them to be discriminated against by regular humans. Race can be compared to this, as nobody can choose their skin tone that they're born with, or the skin tone that they have to live with and be judged upon day to day for every second of their life. The thing that one does with their genitals, on the other hand, is a choice, and not something that someone is born with, like race or fictional mutations. Yeah, get some popcorn or ready your pitchforks for me to fully delve into this one, but there is objectively no science that proves that swinging the other way isn't a choice. It's literally all just phony CNN doctors with no scientific evidence to their claims, and people who swing the other way claiming it isn't a choice. It's speculation at generous best, and I'll emphasize generous best, as there's more science towards the claim of it being a choice that I'm sure these fake progressive catering cope first world indoctrinated morons will ignore. But anyway, it's quite horrible and selfish how these foolish types of people tried to take what was clearly a race metaphor and try to pervertedly distort it into their lifestyle choices and pretend that it's just objectively the case and that you're some sort of bigot for not perceiving the X-Men this way. We'll take a brief look at the most highly regarded X-Men media with the 90s X-Men TV series, where there was no LGBT metaphors to be found at all from what I remember, as I actually watched it recently, not counting the weird non-binary thing they did with Morph in the modern continuation, which was rightfully met with some backlash. Now, I'm not one of those super far-right channels either, despite me bashing far-left shit, because I will say that fighting discrimination was objectively a theme within X-Men media, but I'll repeat, it's over things that aren't a choice. Take this scene as an example.
They're doing what? That does it! Alright, wise guy. You and your freako comrades can just hit the road!
I don't understand. Is there a
Bad
problem?
enough I have to serve you jerks from the college, but I ain't putting up with any trouble from their kind.
Skin color prejudice? That's so pathetic, it's almost quaint.
It ain't quaint.
There's no scene like that for LGBT stuff within the original 90s X-Men series, because that is a choice, unlike skin tone, that people can't change, not counting some oddball exceptions like tanning and whatever happened with Michael Jackson. Skin tone is something that can't be debated. Wolverine being born with claws, or Nightcrawler being born blue, or Rogue not being able to touch people without hurting them also can't be debated, unlike the things one does with their genitals once again. Funny enough, there was even a scene in the 90s X-Men series where Wolverine started going to church after taking Nightcrawler's suggestions. You guys arguing with me should find God and do the same. God knows this message would not be in modern Marvel media today, sadly. The most recent example I can name off is Netflix's Daredevil. Now, outside of the 90s series, I can say that some X-Men writers have used the X-Men to represent that rainbow flag movement, but I disagree with those so-called writers. Most of the time that an X-Men writer is doing such things is with one of the many shitty modern comics that nobody takes seriously, such as Wolverine being in a bisexual relationship with Cyclops and Jean Grey, Mystique getting changed from being the mother of Nightcrawler to being Nightcrawler's dad by becoming a she-male who did it with another woman. They made a Catholic like Nightcrawler be conceived like that, instead of what it used to be when Mystique hooked up with a teleporting mutant who also had a tail, which made more sense. The list can go on, such as Iceman being retconned into being gay in tandem with the fact that these books don't sell well. There's just too many videos on these shitty modern comics as is. Despite some shills trying to defend this crap, the movies on these characters would bomb if they pulled crap like this. Outside of crappy comics, you may be able to pick out one or two lines from the movies that may slightly insinuate some homosexual theme, but it's usually too subtle to count, hence why the X-Men movies didn't get banned in other countries, such as Spider-Verse 2 getting banned for a trans kid flag, along with all the bullshit in Insomniac Spider-Man 2 that got heavily censored. Morph being retconned into being non-binary was met with backlash, as said before, and I guess there's the statement of Deadpool being pansexual in the movies, but even that one doesn't matter, as we see him in a regular relationship with a woman and all the gay moments are treated like jokes, similar to memes that have that sexuality as a punchline. Unlike crap like The Boys, or the bastardization of Lando from Star Wars, who they made pansexual, even though the word essentially didn't exist in anyone's vocabulary at the time of his first appearance in 1980. I'll repeat that taking race-related issues and trying to make it about yourself and your personal decisions of swinging the other way is really messed up. If you want to interpret it that way for yourself, then fine, but don't go around pretending it's objectively the case when you only have one line or so, or bad comics, to work with. It's not the first time that community has hijacked crap off of communities of colors like this, such as them hijacking the term woke that used to mean people within the black community that were consciously aware of problems caused by those in power, such as the CIA deliberately dropping crack into black neighborhoods. But now these first world indoctrinated freaks of their own choosing have turned the term into something that represents their many perversions. It's a choice, and I can't really take that community seriously when they say it isn't a choice due to how dishonest they can be when they lie to themselves about their gender, unlike Thailand, that may have a bunch of traps, but they at least have the decency to call themselves lady boys instead of pretending they're the real deal and trying to get into the wrong bathroom. Lesbian women on Tinder are apparently forced to deal with men identifying as lesbian women when swiping. You overly open-minded guy-ats open the door for this bullshit, so I don't really feel too bad about it. You reap what you sow. The dishonesty is just too much, and I could keep going. Men that swing the other way just act like women, and women aren't really that honest on average, to be honest. You guys know about the zesty gay voice, right? Those men say that's just how they sound and it isn't a fake voice, but doctors put them under the influence of drugs, such as morphine, which numbs their cognitive abilities. Those same doctors have reported that the voice goes away completely when they get the high that prevents them from willfully and consciously speaking in such a way which therefore objectively means that they're lying, whether it be to others or themselves. They can't be trusted on the claims of it not being a choice if they lie for something as basic as that. I'm not saying they're not allowed to exist, as people with their weird sexual behavior such as the BDSM community have always existed, but that stuff stayed in the bedroom, instead of being promoted in media with a large percentage of child viewers like Spider-Man. Race is not in the same boat. When a black person or a person of any other ethnic group goes for a job interview, the person doing the interview can see that person's skin tone and decide not to hire them if they're black, Hispanic, or Asian, or even a white guy who may wrongfully not get hired for diversity reasons, while Indians get away with only hiring their own for something as basic as Tim Hortons coffee and donuts. But anyway, sexuality on the other hand is something that usually can't easily be seen unless you behave super flamboyant about it, which can easily be avoided, or if you're the usual non-convincing trap that can't fool anyone. Companies or the job interviewers aren't even really legally allowed to even ask for your sexuality. Hell, with how shit's going these days in this declining world, I wouldn't be surprised if they got into legal trouble just for asking. Sure, sexuality discrimination could still happen, but it's not the same thing as race, since your sexuality can usually be hidden. Stop trying to win the oppression Olympics with your life choices. Overall, discrimination is bad when someone is being judged for what they cannot help, and not whatever the fuck you guys decide to do as a choice. Even things like being born into a religion has more nuance to be debated. But nobody is born with a dick in their mouth with the exception of this Gollum look-alike grifting loser. People who are born with some physical gender defect on their genitals is a bit of a different story, but most traps aren't people that change genders because of something like that. Oh, and don't even start to use some animals swinging the other way as an excuse. Animals inappropriately assault other animals such as dolphins that do it in gangs, and they engage in cannibalism of their own species. If you get to use animals to justify your behavior of swinging the other way, then I get to engage in cannibalism by eating the brains of you fools, just so I can say that your minds taste pretty retarded. You see how much of a dumb, slippery slope it is to call these behaviors born conditions within human beings? This crap can be used to wrongfully excuse certain inappropriate EDP activities involving minors. If this behavior isn't a choice, then why doesn't that behavior get to not be a choice? Stop making excuses and face up to what you decide to do, whether it be for the better or worse. But anyway, that's it for this bold as fuck video that really pushed the limits in an objectively godly fashion that my supreme intelligent mind is known for. Check out my other videos, such as this playlist dedicated to me calling out socio-political nonsense, along with media in my link tree, such as Rumble that has exclusive content for this video, along with maybe joining the Discord server if you want to talk to other worthy minds. But anyway, thanks for watching.